Here we are again at the Pipeland assignment, where this is Pipeland Part 2. We are going to show you how to color it in. Now, I'd like you to color this in as the last resort. If you have to use a pencil, you can use a regular pencil to just simply shade it. But I'd like you to try colored pencils. If you're virtual and you have to come into the school and get some, we can get you some. If you're face-to-face, let me know when you're in class and we can get you some. So the goal of this part of part 2 is to make all of these pipes look like they are three-dimensional and round, okay? So we know that curved surfaces are shaded by blending. We know that from the can assignment, okay? And so, for example, this pipe right here, we know that it is round this way, okay? It's straight up and down this way, but it's rounded this way. So the way that we show that is on the outside edges, the edges that are farthest away from the viewer. In this case, we are the viewer. They are the darkest. So on the pipe assignment, it's going to be fairly simple to just kind of go on the outside of the pipe and very carefully and neatly make that a dark version of the color that you're using. In this case, it's a blue. So I take both sides, and then now I haven't finished this pipe, but as far as down here, but I'm shading it as if it were already done. So the middle is light, and the outside edges are dark. Okay, and it's a smooth blend from the outside edge to the middle and from this outside edge to the middle. So what I'd like you to do is each section of pipe, make that its own color. So it's kind of like the Rainbow Pipe Factory or something like that. Okay, so up here, okay. And now, so let's pick another color. So I'm gonna pick a darker color just so it shows up. So this is kind of it says it's a blue. So here's our blue. We'll do this section. Okay, so here's our blue. And we go on the outside. And again, the edges of the pipe are what's farthest away. So they are going to be the darkest. Also, they're angled away from us, so they can't reflect the light very easily, like the center of the pipe can. So I'm going to slowly, as I go across here, I'm going to slowly get lighter and lighter. And then the middle is the very lightest. And then as I get towards the other side, I go back to the darker shades. So this one is shaded this way, because the pipe goes in that direction. All right. So each one's going to be different. Let's do one of the fittings, one of the elbows. Okay. So the elbows, here is the rounded part. Okay. So the rounded part is this collar and this collar here. Okay. And then as they go towards the middle of the pipe, they get closer to us. Okay. And so this is going to go up like this, and then it gets closer to us, and then the edge of the pipe up here is going to be farthest away from us as well. So we color the top edge of that pipe, and now as we come forward towards us, we get a little lighter. Now here's another little hint though. If the light was coming from the top side would be a little bit lighter than the bottom side. So what you might want to do is bring some of the darkness up a little bit from the bottom, okay, and have the lightest area of the pipe maybe be slightly up towards the top. And then this middle part is the same thing, okay. It's rounded, it comes out towards us. And it's darker on the edges. And then now I'm going to show you little trick. So let's say the light was coming from up above and kind of coming from this angle. Well, then this little lip over here wouldn't get any light. So down here on the bottom, it's quite dark, but it's also dark because the light can't get past that edge. So you can just kind of shade that like that. And then on this side, we wouldn't be able to see maybe just a touch of the edge. And then here again, on this one, the light wouldn't be able, because the light's kind of behind it. So that little lip that goes on the edge of that elbow on that side, away from the light, that would be quite dark, like a shadow, okay? So you got to shade all of the pipes, all of the fittings, use lots of different colors. Sometimes, well, let's do one in yellow just to show you what you can do. Sometimes when you have a yellow, and let's do this section of pipe right here. So sometimes when you have a yellow, you can't push on the yellow and make it all of a sudden turn into dark yellow. So what do? So what you do is you mix colors. I'm going to get it all done in yellow. So that's the problem with some of the bright colors. And I want you to try some of these bright colors. They're kind of fun to try. But if you press hard, they just become brighter. They don't get dark. They just become bright yellow. Now that's not shaded. So what you do is you take a color that's maybe a little bit similar to yellow, like a red or an orange. Here's an orange I have. This is called, what's it called? Mango. And you use that as the dark version of the color that you're doing. Okay, so now I'm going right over top of the yellow. Okay, and that's going to become the dark part of that, or the color of the shadow. Brown also works. You could use brown. So if you have a very light color, like a pink or something like that, you can just add a similar color to it and go right over top of it. And now we've got that shaded. Now I'm going to take it even a step farther. I'm going to say I want it to look even darker than that. So I'm going to take this color, it says it's maroon, and I'm just going to go down here on the bottom where I know there wouldn't be hardly any light getting in, like a shadow. Okay, and I'm just going to darken up the very darkest parts. Okay, and so that gives, up here on the top, just the very darkest, not hardly any, just a little hint of that. And that gives it that darkness that the yellow by itself can't do. Okay, so part 2 of this assignment is going to take just as much thought as part 1 and maybe just as much time, but it's a different type of thinking, and it's a different reason that it's taking a lot of time. It's because you're being careful. You're thinking about what colors have to be where, and how do I make this look rounded, and is it looking rounded the correct way? Okay, so that's part 2. Can't wait to see these assignments. Some of these that I've seen so far in part 1 are just outstanding. I can't wait to see the color version of them. And this is going to end up being a very interesting piece of art. So good luck. Take your time and use all kinds of different colors and have fun experimenting, but be thinking while you're experimenting. All right, good luck.